We're doing it right before the Broncos game. A little Christmas mock draft for you. We wanted to have some fun, so we're getting into it. Flying through the first 31 picks, and then Broncos. What we need, what the different first round scenarios would mean for rounds 2 and 3, and so much more. Starting now. DNVR Draft Pod. We're doing it. That's right. Live from downtown Denver on the corner of Colfax and York, right above the DNVR bar. We are coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge. Toyota.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve, the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. The places we are going is a full mock draft. We teased it on last week's draft pod. We're doing this, spoiler alert, a little pre-recorded action for you. So
Christmas Eve.
The mock order is a little different, but it is Christmas Eve. We're in the spirit. We're opening some gifts for all NFL teams.
Absolutely. This is for the real ball knowers, the real sickos only.
It really is. And yeah. So if the draft orders altered a smidge, so be it, man. So be it. Just go with it.
We can't control the order.
It's the Christmas season, just like go with the vibes, be about it. Look, do unto your neighbor as your neighbor does unto you. I don't know. So we start, and wow, Jake, I can't believe it. Breaking news on our DNVR Draft Pod mock draft. We've got a trade at the top of the board.
Oh, let's go.
The New York Giants are trading out of the first overall pick, exactly, to the New York Jets. The Jets flying up the board to go get their quarterback. The Giants not. This take would be a week old on the show now, but did you see the Colin Cowher take that they should trade Jackson Dart and draft Mendoza and stay at 1, the Giants?
I mean, it's not the worst idea. It'd be very unconventional, but...
You're a Mendoza head?
I just think that you're kind of splitting hairs between the two at this point. At least Mendoza's going to protect himself a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. At this point, we've got a trade, though. They're sticking with the Dart, man.
Good for them.
And they're the Jets are getting a dose of Mendoza, who I think has, at this point, feels like the safe number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. I mean, Heisman Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make a little bit of a run, I think. So, or maybe they already have.
Prototypical pocket passer, and I'm about the arm talent. He can squeeze some tight windows. It's not super duper arm talent. I think the ceiling's a little limited, but the floor is pretty high. There's some Goff, Matt Ryan to that profile. So we're going Mendoza.
Had some
first
big moments
overall
this year,
pick.
though.
Yeah, I mean, it's been outstanding. And I like the Cal film, too. Honestly, that maybe makes me feel better about his prospects. We go to the Raiders at 2. The one team that can't be interested in Jeremiah Love because they already took their running back really high. And I wonder how they're feeling about that selection. They have to go quarterback. Who knows what they'll be doing at head coach. By the time you're listening to this, for all we know, they've fired Pete Carroll. And so I really think the conversation here, Jakester, is Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, or someone else for you. But you have to start at the quarterback here. This is a team that must regret not taking Bo Nix or having Bo Nix drop to them terribly.
I mean, do you want what I would do or what the Raiders are going to do here?
I would like to hear both those scenarios.
I mean, for me, you got to be responsible. Eat your vegetables. Draft an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, for God's sake, please. So you have nothing, bro. I guess you have a tight end and a running back.
Tight end, running
You have
back,
Max Crosby.
star pass rusher. Yeah, and
That's literally
that's it. It's the cupboard is barren.
Geno got killed this year.
Yeah,
You're going to throw a rookie back there now?
It's a weird class where I don't know that there's a offensive tackle that's worthy of a top 3 pick. Wide receiver, maybe. Defensive line, Keldrick Falk, Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese. But I don't know. I kind of feel, don't you start with the quarterback and you figure the rest out? I know it's a bit like you risk being just the Titans with Cam Ward, but
pretty much. I mean, Arvell Reese sounds like such a Raiders pick to me.
it does.
But
Wow, I didn't expect this. I thought we'd just go quarterback 1-2.
I'm just saying.
I could be about it, though.
I'm not trying to make things difficult here. It's just
No, I think it's a good discussion to have.
the last 2 years are indicative of what the Raiders are in general. They have nothing, and they picked a tight end and a running back, bro.
No, I know. It's not great.
I don't know. Would you Dante Moore, Ty Simpson?
I'd take Dante Moore. I really think Ty Simpson, one way or another, stays in college. But I do think we'll be mocking him in this mock.
God bless you, Dante.
I know. It's the worst situation possible. We don't have to talk quarterback at the 3rd pick overall with the Tennessee Titans, where, again, the roster is completely barren. It's Ward. It's Jeffrey Simmons. Sure, Tony Pollard's good, but you really don't have a ton else to work with. So you're just trying to figure out building blocks here. I think going top defender of the class probably makes the most sense here. But at the same time, I think Jeremiah Love and some of the top wide receivers may be intriguing too, because you got to give Cam Ward some running mates on that offense sooner rather than later.
Yeah. It's just tough when I see IOL and OT as a need.
I know.
So they need everything too, though.
They need everything. This would be a perfect trade down spot. That's the thing about the top of this draft is you're not going to have a ton of like slam dunk selections.
Yep.
You just aren't.
Then I don't know. My guess,
I kind of feel like they draft Arvell Reese.
I think they have to just try and take the best player available. And that is probably an option, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the best at this point, but
I know. That's the thing. The best available might be Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, a running back and a safety, or Ruben Bain, a D end who has length concerns and maybe is seen as more of a defensive tackle. And defensive tackle with Simmons is probably the one spot you're good at. You've got Sweat, too, who I really love.
Oh, man. I think you got to take whoever you think is more of an edge rusher between Reese and Bain.
So I think it's Reese.
Okay.
It would be fun with the Titans, a team that had Eddie George, CJ2K, Derrick Henry, to have another star running back. You have Pollard, who has 2 years left on his contract. But, Pollard and Jeremiah Love could play together. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think the Titans go Reese.
It'd be what the Raiders did last year, if not worse.
100%. Cleveland Browns. And it's funny to see the need lists don't have quarterback anymore. And who knows?
We'll see.
For all we know, the Buffalo game was... It's week to week with Shedeur.
It really
It's
is.
just going to be in that offense. But for now, for how the board has fallen, I do think it's smart to not go quarterback with Moore and Mendoza off the board already. I think defensively, you're pretty darn good. Aside from a few touch-ups, you really just need way more offensive talent. So it comes down to the top wide receivers. For me, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, or Jeremiah Love, who you do have Judkins, who's looked pretty darn good.
And you used a pretty high pick on him last year. Mm-hmm. He needs a receiver.
I agree completely.
Get Jared Judy out of there. Please, God, help him.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know. We've had this discussion before. I really like Tate. I think he's super complete. Kind of like Ibuka last year.
I do too.
I think Tyson has some
Only
of that
bigger.
too. Yes, but I don't think he has near the size that Tate has, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in some ways, I think Tyson's more Ibuka-y, and Tate's the high upside guy. Keep Tate in Ohio and give him to the Cleveland Browns. So there you go. Two quarterbacks and 2 Buckeyes. in the top 4 picks. And now we get to the Giants, who traded out of this pick and are circling back at 5 after adding some draft capital from their Subway Series rivals. They don't need edge, which is probably where the bulk of the talent is remaining on the board. You could really use a wide receiver opposite Malik Neighbors. You could use an offensive tackle opposite Andrew Thomas, the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Theo Johnson's been okay at tight end, but you could upgrade. And I wonder, how intriguing is Jeremiah Love?
I was just about to throw that out. You had Saquon Barkley and you let him go right before the best year of his career.
Yeah.
How are you not feeling,
Yeah.
oh, if we only had a star running back again? It might not be responsible, but I think that has to be going through their heads a lot, right?
For sure. And you've got some nice defensive pieces. And then all of a sudden your offense would have quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver 1, and running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm about Jeremiah Love, though it does make the Saquon move seem pretty silly in retrospect.
I mean, the Giants aren't a serious franchise, so it's all right.
They are not. Talking about going from unserious to
the worst in...
I mean...
Are they the worst franchise in the sport?
The Arizona Cardinals?
Most irrelevant, just never has won a single thing.
The irrelevancy is honestly striking. It's kind of crazy.
I think they have the worst win percentage in NFL history. I think they do.
That's crazy. Yeah, they've been through some hard times, man. And it's kind of like, who can you give them to give them some sort of identity? You have Maserati Marv, hasn't really worked out. Michael Wilson has had a really nice season.
Yep.
Running back could be a need, but Jeremiah Love just went. Pierce Johnson was a high pick at left tackle, so I don't think you need to address that super high. I think it's kind of quarterback becomes the conversation here to return some relevancy.
They have to do something this offseason. I mean, Kyler Clear is not going to be there.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, they are the second worst franchise in NFL history in terms of win percentage.
Who's number 1?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they played half the games the Cardinals have had.
Crazy. Do we go Ty Simpson here? Is he so clearly the best and only quarterback left that would be a reasonable
I mean, at this point,
rounder?
yeah. I mean, we don't have a crystal ball to see into the free agent market. I'd assume there'd be some choices there. I don't know if this is like, are you going crazy over Kirk Cousins if you're the Arizona Cardinals, or I don't know who else would even theoretically be out there at this point.
That's the thing, though. If you're getting rid of Kyler, kind of got to do better than Kirk Cousins.
I agree, but
if not, just keep Kyler.
With Kyler, it's different, though. It's like, I mean, I guess with Kirk, it's injuries and stuff, too, but I don't know.
Tough.
Just give him the quarterback?
Give him the quarterback. It's Ty Simpson, and we have a third quarterback going in the top 6. A team that I think is going to be fine with no quarterback, at least for the time being, is the New Orleans Saints, who are positively shocked with what they've found at quarterback.
Jeez.
You like that one?
Boy.
And here I think, again, you need foundational pieces. You do have Olave, but you lost Rashid Shaheed, who's really been balling. And I think a wide receiver, too, for Shuck would make a lot of sense. And I think Jordan Tyson's not going to go many picks further than this. So that's where I'd go here. And this lines up nicely for the Washington Commanders at the 8th overall pick, where they can just go BPA on defense. And all the picks have been offensive, aside from Arvell Reese. So you've got your pick of Reuben Bain, Caleb Downs, Keldrick Falk, David Bailey. And I don't think you can really go wrong with that. The Clemson guys, Peter Woods, TJ Parker. What direction would you go here, Jake?
I mean, it's a veteran kind of edge group here.
Yep.
Like, I don't think Vaughn's going to be like a realistic piece for the future. Also, I look at this secondary, and they've invested some resources into this, but it's kind of just a patchwork group. I don't know how. I mean, if you get a star in the secondary, is that enough to kind of a rising tide lift all boats thing from that perspective there?
I mean, it's kind of romantic for the team that had Sean Taylor and lost us too early to take the best safety we've seen come out in a while.
Beautiful.
I think it's Caleb Downs' time, and that's the third Buckeye to go in the top 8 picks. Speaking of the Buckeyes, we're back in Ohio with the Cincinnati Bengals, who we're going to talk about at the 9th pick on the other side after a quick break. Bet365, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Sundays, college football playoffs, they've got you covered on everything you do. They've got some awesome specials. Thursday night football, you get a $10 safety net. Sunday night football, there's a $365,000 jackpot. Place a $10 bet on the first touchdown scorer and get a split of that $365K in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. And of course, all sorts of SGP fun, including DNVR's boosted SGPs that you'll see on the Broncos page or their front page of their website. And they're all about the SGPs as well with Bet365. It's never ordinary. They've got the early payout offers as well. And the only place you can use our code DNVR365 at sign up. $10 minimum deposit, $5 minimum bet. As soon as that's settled, win, lose, or draw, $150 in bonus bets for you to play with. You can put those on anything you want. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you, someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. TNCs apply. And a shout out to our friends at Toyota. It was so awesome having Toyota out at the Broncos tailgate last Sunday, doing a food drive with our branded Tacoma out there. You might see the branded Tacoma driving around town with DNVR's logo. You might see some of the DNVR crew driving around in their Toyotas. Anyone at DNVR that has a Toyota swears by it. The perfect Colorado car. Trucks, SUVs, 4-wheel, all-wheel drive. It's all part of Toyota's DNA. And they are the best. So if you are looking for a new vehicle this holiday season, visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. And we're back. Bengals, 9th overall. Burrow really looks like he's having the worst time of his life.
Get him out of there. Free him.
I know. There'll be some things to be figured out. I wonder if Zach Taylor makes it to next season. To be honest,
who wants to play for those owners? They're terrible.
You gotta go defense here, right?
I think so. I mean,
or O-line. Also, tight end. It's early for Kenyon Sadiq potentially, but I just don't think you can go offense when
I think tight end would be
so
very irresponsible.
Yeah, it's a luxury pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to go defense. And so Falk, Bain, David Bailey. And for a team that likes to rush 4, all 3 are nice options.
So I think you got to go front 7 here. So either
I agree.
Bain or because Hendrickson's, what's his deal? He's on like a 1-year deal, right? And he's hurt right now.
Even then, I mean, you still would have to find someone to play opposite him.
For sure, but like it sounds like he doesn't want to be there either. He's going to be gone the next chance he gets.
I think he is, for sure.
So Falk or, I mean, if you think Falk's the more true edge and really good player too, clearly. But
I like Falk a lot. He's a very Cincinnati pick.
Let's run it.
Like upside, didn't have great production. If you like Shamar Stewart,
right.
You're gonna love Keldrick Falk. And they did love Shamar Stewart. At 10th overall, the rich get richer. the Los Angeles Rams have a pick through the Atlanta Falcons. Boy, oh boy, if things felt right, we might be having a quarterback conversation here. But they do not, Jake. They fall wrong because 3 quarterbacks have gone, and I don't think we'll have Lenore Sellers or Nussie going in the top of this draft. So world's their oyster, really. You could get younger at offensive tackle. You could go back 7. If we were to go back 7, best talents here would be Jermod McCoy, Avion Terrell. Is it too rich to go with another edge opposite Jared Verse for them?
No.
Probably is, honestly.
I think secondary's got to be where you go.
Yeah. Do you have a preference over McCoy or Avion Terrell?
I mean, it's too early to tell you that at this point for me right now. But
some like Mansour Delaney too.
I'll just take the more in-your-face physical press player. I'll take McCoy.
I like it. Who also, I think, once people go back to last year's tape, since he was injured a lot of this year, they'll be pretty intrigued. Speaking of intrigue, we get to Miami at 11th overall, a team that isn't intriguing at all. Kind of lots of things to be figured out. Maybe a Kyler destination here.
I wouldn't be the worst fit.
No, it would not. But the dead cap for Tua is going to be crazy if you do go that route.
So he's going to be on the team next year, basically, then, Tua?
Unless you do a Broncos style, just crazy restart.
I saw people throwing out the potential of doing the Browns Brock Osweiler trade to get him out of there, Miami, where you are giving up picks to get rid of Tua.
Yeah.
It's got to be defense in.
I think David Bailey right now is really looking intriguing.
He's a stud.
You just traded Jalen Phillips, right?
Bane's still on the board?
Bane is still on the board. You could keep him in Miami. Kind of want to try this experiment, though, of like how far can Bane drop?
Sure.
And David Bailey. We're the number 1 fans.
Yeah.
We're Bailey heads. So let's go David Bailey at 11. KC at 12. Sadiq seems like an obvious fit. But is the O-line need too big? Plus, you got to figure some things out in the secondary.
You need receivers at some point, too, if you're Casey.
I know, but do you feel good enough with Worthy and Rashee Rice?
I think you're very top-heavy with that, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Mean, clearly, you saw Rashee Rice last year with the injury and this year with the suspension. Like, without him, they're searching for answers. And even then, it's like they're still struggling to score points.
For sure.
I don't know. I mean,
here's all I'll say. You have a Patrick Mahomes coming off an ACL. Protecting him becomes more important than it's ever been before, and giving him a reliable run game to work off of. I think we've had O-line drop enough to where it's time to have that confo for Mayuaga, Caden Proctor, the 2 Utah kids. Or Trevor Gooseby, or,
Do you think Mahomes plays next year?
I don't think he starts the year. I think he plays sooner rather than later, though.
At what point do you have to just say we're looking at a lost year with our best player and our star quarterback just not being healthy and ready to go until potentially November?
I mean, you might be, but that could be the perfect season to develop a starting rookie O-lineman.
I agree.
You did get Josh Simmons last year, so you've got that.
So who's the pick then? Is Fano, or are we looking more?
You probably are looking at the right tackles more because you do have your left tackle in Simmons, and it's Mayuaga or Fano, yeah. I'd go more with the Miami kid and just kind of go with the road grader who can play a few different positions.
Do it. I won't fight you. I do think that they'll look at Fano a little bit more just because of the pass pro stuff, but
yeah, for sure. Also, as much as I'd be disappointed if Kenyon Sadiq went here, I'd be extra disappointed if they were able to scoop up Ruben Bain. Like pair him next to Karlaftis and Chris Jones. That would be a scary
This is
combination.
unacceptable almost. The Chiefs should not be allowed to pick this far down.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. Minnesota Vikings. What to do with the Vikings?
They need defense.
I would agree, and it's more the secondary. It's more the back seven than anything else. And I don't think there's really a safety worthy. Linebacker feels a little early at 13th overall. So we're back to Avion Terrell, Mansour Delaney, those kinds of options at cornerback for you. I could definitely see them going Avion Terrell.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And we move on to the Dallas Cowboys, who also themselves need defense. They got Quinnen Williams, who seems to have panned out. You're really looking for your Micah Parsons replacement. Ruben Baines is not that. Bain. I don't know why I called him Baines.
Howell, maybe?
Yeah, I think that might be best up. Is Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. I think you are right in that. And thus, that's where we'll go. We're not going to spend too much time on the Cowboys. The Ravens, another team that could use an edge rusher. After trading away Owe, who's been pretty nice with the Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't like that they did that. But the defensive needs are adding up for them. And I also think you could use another wide receiver to pair next to Zay Flowers and stuff. Like at a certain point, you do need to give Lamar a few more options here. You can't just let him run the whole show. I think this might be close to Jeremiah Love's floor too, if he were to drop.
Wow. Ruben Bain feels like a very Ravens pick right here, too.
I was thinking the same thing. That also, I mean, I love Miami with Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed.
Yeah, totally.
So we're doing it. We're not overthinking it. We go to the Carolina Panthers, where they figured some things out. That offense has some things going for it, and the defense has shown some moments too. I think that's the side of the ball you focus on, though, is defense. Unless you want to go with another wide receiver to pair with, Teteroa, T-Mac. Interior O-line, another need I'm seeing here.
Top defensive player on the board right now.
Top defensive player, we're probably going with one of the Clemson kids now and looking at Peter Woods or TJ Parker.
Sonny Styles, maybe? Is it too early for linebackers?
I was thinking about Sonny Styles. I kind of think we got to do it, man.
Because, I mean, really, since Kuechly's gone, they have not been bad in the front seven, but they have not been tough in the front seven since those teams.
No, Sonny Styles with Derek Brown kind of watching your back feels like a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, right now it says the starting linebackers, I think, are Trevin Wallace and Christian Roseboom.
Say less.
There it is.
Detroit Lions at 17, another team that really could use an edge. And I don't know, are we running out of options at edge? I like me some Romello Height. TJ Parker, though, still available, and that feels like an easy pick here. I think you could have talked me into him 5 picks ago. This pick, but instead it's the Jets. In our mock trade, the Jets retain this pick and are able to give away day 2 picks and maybe a future first, but they keep this one. They got their quarterback.
Right.
Now they need to remake their defense after trading away both Sauce Gardner and Quinion Williams. You're not going to find great replacements, but you'll have some options. I wonder, Amari Washington, Caleb Banks, is it too early for those guys? Or Mansour Delaney, who's come up already a couple times, the corner from LSU.
Man, this defense is they're overperforming given the roster.
I mean, I think they were earlier in the year, and now they are underperforming.
Well, yeah,
now that they've lost all that
recently.
talent.
Yeah, is Delane the highest rated player?
Probably on my board, though. Mateo Ugalele, Romello Height, Caden McDonald, Amari Washington. They're not. I mean, for me, they are higher.
Would they consider going like the Mekhi Lemon route to pair with their new quarterback?
I was wondering about that. You do still have Garrett Wilson. Kenyon Sadiq might also make sense. You know what? I like the Mekhi Lemon. Let's go there.
Cool.
Okay, we keep it moving. We've gotten into the playoff teams at 19, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you need defensive help. And here, I think Sadiq's fall ends. It's too easy, Jake.
Tough one again.
It's just too easy. Next up at 20, we have the Blitzburg Steelers. We're just 10 picks away from the Broncos. We're going to fly through these, and then we'll be talking Broncos, not just end of round one, but projecting, depending on our options in round one, what we'd be looking at in rounds 2 and 3. We'll do all of that on the other side. Coors Light, that's right. What a time to be alive this holiday season. All the football, all the good times, the good friends, the good people, and nothing makes that better than having a Coors Light, sitting down on your couch in front of the fire maybe, just taking a second to be grateful and appreciate what you've got. In those delicious moments in life, nothing goes better than a Coors Light, a little silver bullet. The mountains turns blue. It's cold filter, delicious like the Rockies, goes down so nice, gets you feeling so good, not too heavy. I love a good Coors Light. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. And also, shout out to our friends at Taco Bell. The Draft Pod is so happy that Taco Bell's bringing back the quesarito, the iconic quesarito on screen when Nikola Jokic was drafted 41st overall in the 2014 NBA draft. Not even on screen. They don't even have the announcement on screen. It's just a quesarito commercial, and we're bringing it back. And it's time to rally the troops because Big Yoke has never tried a quesarito, and we want the community to stand up and have him try some Taco Bell, get his quesarito on. If you, like Yoke, have never had a quesarito before, it's time to get in on the fun, man. Come and try one. I haven't myself. I need to try one. It looks delightful. Some rice, some meat, cheese. Sign me up. And the buff boxes have sold out, but your local Colorado Taco Bell restaurants would love to hear from the fans which student athlete you would like to see featured on a Collector's Cup for the 2026 football season. Put your comments in the chat and let us know you think deserves to be featured next year. Live Mas at Taco Bell. Pittsburgh at 20, flying through this mock. I'm loving this. We just had a wide receiver fly off the board. Probably time for another wide receiver after you lost Pickens. You've kind of needed that. This offense has been yucky. Casey Concepcion, the best wide receiver on the board at this point? I kind of think he might be, Jake.
I think he might be as well.
Yeah. Unless you're a Brazzle guy.
Personally, I'm not touching Tennessee wide receivers with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, that's...
I'm sorry, not to helmet scout and stuff. It's just these guys have not translated the last few years.
You play against the Ravens, you get your own Zay Flowers, and you do the thing.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles at 21. they've got Brandon Graham coming out of retirement, making a big contribution. So closing that gap you've got would make a lot of sense. Also, your O-line suffered a lot without Becton, and Lane Johnson is getting a little old in the tooth. So I think looking at your future O-linemen, especially with the value on the board, Fano, Proctor still available, would make a lot of sense.
Which one? I mean, this is kind of crazy value for them. That's what they'll do in this spot. So
yeah, I kind of feel like Fano might be their kind of guy. Could play inside really easy and then transition it back to right tackle where he's played at Utah.
Okay.
Speaking of O-line, we stick to the offensive line because it's the Houston Texans.
Yes.
And I think that is priority 1, 2, and 3 for a team that otherwise is pretty covered in most areas. And I think Caden Proctor's fall has to end. On last week's show, you asked me at what point in the Caden Proctor fall do you start to consider a trade up? I said the early 20s, and we are at pick 22.
So how hot do you think the phones were in Denver when you're looking at the board, especially after Concepcion goes after the board, and you have Spencer Fano and Caden Proctor still there in that situation? Is the phone blazing hot?
I think the way you're feeling about your O-line this season, you're probably not as panicked as you maybe would have been.
I don't think it's panic, though.
You're trying to move up a little bit, yeah.
I think it's kind of the opposite of panic, honestly. It's more so recognizing where you are in terms of your team and being aggressive and taking advantage of the moment, more so than anything.
Yeah, I'd agree. I want to see trade value chart. The difference between these picks is 200 points. So that would essentially be a late second rounder.
So
are you willing to give up your second rounder and your first to move up for Caden Proctor? And when we mock this out, we can revisit this.
Yeah, let's put a bookmark in this.
Yeah, exactly. This would be Green Bay's pick, but it goes to the Dallas Cowboys at 23. The Cowboys already got themselves Cassius Howell, and I think you can just double up on defensive needs here.
So who did this? The Falcons did it last year where they took 2 first-round edge rushers?
Yep, that's exactly right. Pierce and Walker, right?
And you'd probably say they reached a little bit on both.
Yeah, but
right?
Pierce has really worked out.
Of course, but he was, for whatever reason, he was not being looked at as a consensus first-round guy last year.
Sounded like off-field, frankly, was the reason.
For sure.
Yeah.
So is there any edge where, like, yeah, it's a reach, but, like, if you think it's that big of a priority?
I'd be very tempted by Romello Height. I think Zion Young would be another guy in the mix. I wonder, what if you just gave Quinnen Williams and Cassius Howell, who you drafted earlier, a bodyguard in the form of massive Caleb Banks, high upside defensive tackle from Florida.
Peter Woods still on the board too?
No, Peter Woods. Oh, wow. Peter Woods is still on the board because we only had TJ Parker go. It has to be Peter Woods.
Yeah,
the fall
Peter
has
Woods
to end
in.
here. That is a really easy pick. Amari Washington would also make sense. So, okay, the interior defensive line, there's some value right now, but we're going to give him Peter Woods here. And we go to Buffalo, where I think you need another wide receiver here, right? That has to be one of the primary needs. Though the defense has looked shaky, especially in the back seven, where you could use some help, particularly at safety. I'm just not sure that safety, the value lines up at this point.
No. You got some options at wide receiver. I think that'll be in this range, though. I mean, Concepcion went a few picks before. I like Denzel Boston. Chris Bell. I mean, obviously the injury makes it tough.
The injury makes it really tough.
Zachariah Branch, maybe? Like, does he see a massive jump to this range?
For the Bills, I love Zachariah Branch. That's a phenomenal pick.
Let's do it.
You had so much luck with James Cook at Georgia. I think you double up, and Branch would be perfect for that. A big arm quarterback like that would really make Zachariah Branch sing. We move it along to the Chicago Bears, who need help on defense. Again, safety could be a need, but I don't think the needs line up. So we're going edge, and we're back to Zion Young, Romello Height, or maybe even R. Mason Thomas.
Yeah, I think offensively they're pretty set, right?
Yep.
Maybe a back. I don't think there's a guy in this range, though.
But Monongai, Swift, I think they've been good enough.
Yeah.
I'd go Romello Height, who I really like.
Real quick, just for a team, though, that it seemed like they had a lot of Genty smoke last year, though.
Yeah, for sure. But again, Swift, Monongai.
Sure.
And there's some nice options at free agent running back. You know,
Sure.
Dowdle, Javante, Brees Hall, K9 are guys who will be available. And if you need it, I think that would be a really appealing stop for a running back because they've been so good running the ball this year. We move it along to the Chargers, where the needs on the defensive line and I think the interior options we've talked about, Amari Washington, Caleb Banks, make a ton of sense here. And some insurance at offensive tackle maybe as well. We've had 3 go off the board, so Caleb Lomu would be
Gooseby?
Next up. Caleb Tiernan of Northwestern. Gooseby. I just think if they go O-line and it's insurance, you go for an O-lineman that has a profile of someone who could be moved inside.
Can Pregnon do that?
I just think he's purely a guard.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think I'd go defensive line, and I think I'd go Banks or Washington.
Oh Lord.
Both nice upside.
That's rough for us, but yeah.
I know, which tells you it's a good pick. Kaden McDonald, Ohio State could be another consideration, by the way. You have a leaning on those 3?
What would Jim Harbaugh do? Do you think he'd just take the biggest guy?
I think he would take the best guy, which I think is Washington. The best combination of upside and present production tools. And the top guy on Fran Duffy's board. The Jacksonville Jaguars pick is up, but it belongs to the Cleveland Browns, who already went and got themselves Carnell Tate.
It's part of the Travis Hunter trade, right?
Exactly right. And I think right now you can go O-line and, take Caleb Lomu, who kind of feels like the top defensive tackle, and then things drop off a little bit. So unless you have objections, that's where I'm going to go here. And we'll keep it moving where the San Francisco 49ers are up, and they could use a wide receiver with everything that's gone on with Brandon Ayuk, Chris Bell and the injury. What do you do with that? Chris Brazzell and the Tennessee fit. And then there's a guy like Jacoby Lane, who's declared for the draft, big target at USC, has caught a ton of touchdowns, and would be really intriguing to me. Did we have Denzel Boston go already?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Denzel Boston would actually be the top guy for me at that point. And feels very San Francisco-y. Now we get the Rams pick, their natural pick.
Did they pick already? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they picked at 10 overall and took Jermod McCoy.
Okay.
So now you could go O-line or back 7. And back 7 is scary for the Broncos because you start to feel good about CJ Allen, Anthony Hood, guys like that potentially dropping to you.
They're having Nate Landman play at a really high level right now, though.
They sure are.
I mean, they could always go get a running
mate
for sure.
Him. Yeah.
So is that where they are, though? They just need cornerback, linebacker, and then they're kind of set for next year?
And they could use some more O-line help. And this is where Gooseby or Caleb Tiernan become
World?
very,
World?
Yep.
Your guy?
Also, I kind of feel like they're a Caleb Tiernan team.
Okay.
Like just measurables, you know?
Sure.
New England could use some help at edge or on the O-line. So any of the names we just brought up for the O-line for the Rams apply to them. Or you could go Mateo Ugalele, Zion Young, one of those edge options we've mulled over already.
Ione, the Penn State kid?
Yeah, the guard.
Yeah.
I like that. We're going to go with Ione and protect Caleb May in the middle. Seattle, another team that could use interior of the O-line help. And I might just go Prignon here.
Okay.
And we have the Broncos who are up.
Let's go.
And we're going to get to all of that on the other side. Dick's Sporting Goods. Wow, what an incredible partner. It was so amazing being out at Park Meadows with Justin Sternad, the Broncos guys, big brothers, big sisters, all thanks to Dick's doing an incredible event during the Christmas season, giving some big brothers, big sisters littles, some Christmas gifts. And Sternad was just amazing working with us. It was great having that setup there right in the shop. It was so tempting to buy all the great Nuggets, Avs, Broncos, you name it, Rapids gear. There was a Rapids jacket I was this close to just copying. I got away with one Mitchell and Ness Nuggets hat, but boy, they had so much great stuff. It was really, for a sports fan, it's the place to be. And not just sports fans. They've got you covered on Nike, Adidas, all the biggest brands, including DNVR stuff. Saw lots of people checking out the DNVR merch, looking up on the site, do we have sizes or stuff? Because it's selling like hotcakes. They've got you set. The athletes in your family, plenty of littles playing sports. We hook them up with new gear they needed. Dick's has you covered, and they've got all sorts of great features, including free fast curbside pickup at your nearest stores or easy shipping from Dicks.com, because every season starts at Dick's. And also, Chicken and Pickles Beer Olympics. That's right, you heard me. Get ready for an epic day of fun, games, and of course, great drinks. December 27th, we'll be hosting DNVR Beer Olympics at Chicken and Pickle in Thornton. It's free to join. All you have to do is go to the dnvr.com/events page and RSVP to get in on the fun. You know, I've always been Flip Cup's a fun game. I like that. A little Pong. Pong, if you get in a rhythm, you get a good team. That's a good one. So it's kind of our unofficial holiday party, and we're doing it at Chicken and Pickles. Great chicken, play some pickleball, drinks, beer Olympics, the whole shebang. So come out, have some fun with us. It's going to be awesome, lively atmosphere, beer, you name it. So each RSVP includes 2 free drink tickets at Chicken and Pickles. So come join us in Thornton, December 27th, for the perfect way to wrap up 2025. Can't wait to see you there. All right, we're back. Talking Broncos for these final 15, 20 minutes of the show. We've mocked it out. We'll go through everything that we went through here in a second. But Jake, with how this has filled out, as it often happens with our mocks, I think the first guy that really jumps out at me is CJ Allen or Anthony Hill.
Yep, same.
Offensive tackle.
So Tiernan and Lomu just went, basically.
Yep.
That's kind of rough, actually. 4 of the last 5 picks are all guys you definitely could have used, I think.
For sure. And we had a lot of wide receivers go, which you don't love to see. Kenyon Sadiq, long gone, many picks ahead. So tight end, I think, needs to be put on the back burner. Is an RB2 too crazy to consider here?
I don't think so.
Justice Haynes.
Oh, my God.
I've brought him up before. The Michigan running back, Alabama transfer, would have me very intrigued. Jadarian Price, the kind of scat back, the Felix Jones to Jeremiah Love. would also be around. Jonah Coleman, Katron Allen, Le'Veon Moss, all would be intriguing. I kind of feel like it's too high.
Probably.
Wide receiver, let's talk through the options here. Jeremy Bernard, I thought of bringing him up on a few of these picks, but we were talking more Brazel, Bell, Jacoby Lane,
Well,
but
do you
he
think the
would be in the
NFL
mix.
has learned to not put these Tennessee guys up that high because of the offense?
Not so sure. I'm not so sure.
I think you're going to see a team kind of take a risk on him early on. I'm not saying the Broncos would, but
I mean, look, he's 6'4", 200 pounds,
Exactly.
and he can absolutely fly.
exactly.
That's the thing. Like, he might just be a combine warrior, and all of a sudden he's getting the Matthew Golden treatment
Totally.
and going, 20 picks higher than when we expected him at this time in the draft process. I would absolutely love Chris Bell. I think he'd be a perfect Bronco. The way this mock played out, I think if it wasn't for the injury, he would have gone 10 picks higher. But it kind of goes out of your hands, draft scout, film watcher, and goes into the hands of the medical staff. And do they clear him or do they not clear him?
So he tore it on November 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
He had surgery about 10 days ago. So he's already on the path to recovery. You don't have to worry about extending that with the surgery and all that.
Uh-huh.
It is about 9 months to that point, to the start of the season, maybe 10 months. I think that in that case, you'd potentially see him as a rookie, though. Are you going to be fine not being able to rely on him until December at best, though? Because, again, I look at this roster, and I feel like that's one of the biggest voids on the roster at this point, is a guy who can just win one-on-one, win a matchup for Bo, and just get open for him. Make it easy on Bo.
Completely agree. I think he's a big one. I also think Jacoby Lane is the perfect kind of Sean Payton type of wide receiver. A guy who lives in the end zone. He's big. And it's just like, look, we're going to bully you on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some speed with guys like Mims and, Troy Franklin. We've got Pat Bryant, who's that well-rounded, maybe Jeremy Bernard type guy. And then you've got just Lane and Sutton on the outside cooking you and kind of dunking on you. So I think he could be a consideration as well. But Chris Bell is like the S-tier version of that. So I want to play out 3 scenarios here. One is obviously Chris Bell. One I think has to be CJ Allen. And then the third I think has to be either a defensive and defensive lineman who could be your future replacement of JFM. Because if you were to lose JFM in free agency, I think that's right. It's always like that doesn't seem like a need, and then free agency happens, and it's the primary need for everyone.
Yep.
Or that O lineman we've kind of danced around and talked about. And that O lineman would be Isaiah World.
Gooseby.
Yep. Trevor Gooseby. Very interesting developmental talent there.
I mean,
It's kind of those two, though.
what you just said there, that sounds like a very Sean Payton type of pick. Take Trevor Gooseby with the tangibles. He doesn't have to start right away. And you kind of hope when you need him in hopefully 2 years, not next year, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did with the guy we talked about last week, Andres Pete. So many guys on that offense. Trevor Penning, he didn't work out, but like those are the type of players they took on that offensive line out there.
Is Gooseby better than, I don't know, Bear Alexander?
Ooh. He entered the portal, I think. Or he actually not entered the portal. He's coming back to Oregon.
Okay. He re-signed.
Yes.
As the kids
Crazy.
say.
Yeah.
Shout out to the kids. Mateo Ugalele, kind of a bigger edge who could fit in that JFM mold.
Okay.
So not for everyone. LT Overton basically doing that at Alabama, 6'5", 278. Zion Young, I think, is too much of a pure edge to do that. Or do you have that already in like Dondre Tillman or Jonah Ellis? Or Savion Jones, for that matter.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, whatever, the front's going to change a little. It's going to be more two big guys like Roach and DJ with Zach Allen. And it doesn't matter because then we'll play enough like NASCAR fronts when it comes to third down, and Jonathan Cooper and Benito can be joined by an Ellis or a Dondre Tillman or a Q Robinson or a Savion Jones.
So just talking that out, do you think the edge depth is fine then? I mean, you took two kind of
The edge
developmental
depth,
guys
yes.
last year.
The 5-tech depth,
Okay.
if you take JFM out, I do think changes.
So
You're giving me the vibe that you feel O-line is more of the... And also Gooseby, I don't know. You know, we should have had Fleming probably in this.
still take him.
I'll put Gooseby / Can you confirm what the left tackle for Georgia's name actually is?
Sure. I just think that from the offensive line, you're going to make a big move there at some point. And it's sooner rather than later.
I do too. And you've kind of sat on it and waited for long enough, you know?
And I'm looking up the Georgia kid right now, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like Gooseby, but I just think that those are the type of guys that they've really fallen in love with. Monroe Freeling.
Monroe Freeling.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yep. I actually had it right here. Can we give Monroe Freeling to the Rams at that Caleb Tiernan pick?
Sure.
And so it's Tiernan or...
So then talk me through that. Tiernan versus Gooseby, or potentially the Georgia kid or whoever.
Tiernan, more of that like grinder, physical. Think Spencer Brown of the Bills. Think Lane Johnson. Big, physical, developmental, a little more raw, but like imposing offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Gooseby is more that super toolsy, left tackle primarily, pass pro first, has the length and the mobility in his lower half to match the top edge rushers in the game. But if you're thinking more a future McGlinchey replacement, if you're thinking more someone who could play in Ben Powers' spot as a rookie and then replace McGlinchey in a year at right tackle, Tiernan's much more that like grinder, tone setter type guy.
All right.
Okay, so now we have these three scenarios.
Okay.
You go Chris Bell at 1. You've got your wide receiver. Who are you looking to at picks? 64, end of round 2, and like 100, end of round 3.
All right. So scrolling down here, this is Chris Bell, correct?
Yes. Scenario 1, Chris Bell.
So you got both those Mizzou edges kind of in that range.
Yeah.
At least on the consensus board, Jacoby Lane's still there. I don't know if you double up at wide receiver, but I'm just saying there's some wide receiver options in this.
That's
range.
more a scenario 2 or 3
Sure.
consideration. I'd say.
Dominique Orange, defensive lineman, Iowa State.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy.
He's 65 on the consensus board. Chase Basantis, the A&M guard.
Yep.
In that range.
Yep. 100%.
Deontay Lawson, Jadarian Price,
Mhm.
Max Clare. There's some options.
Yeah, for sure. I do think tight end is definitely something you're looking at in all of these scenarios since you weren't able to get one at the top of the draft. Joe Royer, Tanner Kozoil, Lake McRae from USC is a guy I really like.
Trigg. I don't know if he's that high.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
he had a great year.
And so let's say scenario 2, you double up on receiving options. You go Bell, you go with the tight end, and then you hope one of these Big 12 linebackers who we love so much, like Jacob Rodriguez, like Jake Galladay at Cincinnati, Rodriguez is at Texas Tech, are still around at the end of the third, and you get your linebacker that way.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 2, you get CJ Allen, so you've got your linebacker. The tight ends we just mentioned, still very much in the mix. And then you're looking at wide receiver now, right? So Jacoby Lane definitely in the mix. Will Antonio Williams declare?
The
Clemson wide receiver, who, 2 years ago when Jeremiah Smith breaks out, Ryan Williams at Alabama break out. Antonio Williams is the other star freshman receiver of that class, though he is eligible because he was a redshirt freshman. With everything that's happened at Clemson, he's kind of fallen off. But, in the third, he might be a nice consideration. The 2 Indiana guys who you love.
Those guys are awesome.
Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. would be very intriguing.
Is listed around this range, Justice Haynes. And then
I would really like Justice Haynes.
Again, just the consensus board has Jeremy Bernard at 52 as well. So it's not theoretically impossible, I guess, at this point. But I think you and I both are very high on him and think he's going to be.
Yeah.
I love Elijah Surratt. I mean, maybe it's a little redundant having Pat Bryant already on the roster, kind of being that that archetype of player.
Lane's kind of redundant to Sutton too, though.
Sure, but
in some ways, Quincy Concepcion's redundant with Mims. There's
it's
going to be some.
Different with size, I think so.
Yeah,
when you double up with a Jacoby Lane or a Denzel Boston in the first round, I think that's you more so going for a style, and that's the Sean Payton style, the big wide receiver thing, right?
What's evident in this exercise is scenario 3 is the only outcome where you can really get your future developmental offensive tackle.
Of course.
Which we know it's such a premium position. There's only so many guys on earth that fit that mold that can actually check off the boxes physically, athletically to be a future NFL starter at offensive tackle, to where we're not really talking about options in the late second and the late third,
because
it's late first or bust.
I mean, it's guys who started 1 year at G5 or completely levels below that you're looking at this point, or guys with just issues,
right? So, and the guys you'd be looking at in the later rounds are more of your pure inside guys. Chase Bizantes, maybe Trey Zune, both Texas A&M guys.
Parker Brailsford, he plays center at Alabama. He's been there for a couple of years now.
Yep, 100%.
He was really good at Washington too.
Yeah. Now you do have Waddy signed up for the future, but could he play guard?
Exactly.
Could someone like Carter Smith, the Indiana left tackle, who probably is better as a guard, be a consideration and drop that far? Could an Isaiah World drop that far and be moved on the inside? Arizona State has their right tackle, Max Ianakor. He only started playing football in JUCO ball. He's 6'6", 325, super duper athlete. Is that the kind of developmental piece you go to in the later rounds? I don't know, but the options do start getting way slimmer. Also, more corners went in our first round than I think we expected here. So I thought that would be more of a conversation, corner, edge, the value would be too good to pass up. Actually, those guys kind of flew off the board in round 1, and it didn't line up that way. If we went those scenario 3 with one of those developmental offensive tackles, offensive linemen, you're still looking at the tight end and wide receiver options later on. You're looking at the linebacker options later on. And you're looking at those running back options we laid out for later on.
For sure.
Which scenario do you think is best for the Broncos? The ideal to maximize talent?
Scenario 3. It has to be. I mean, look, it's honestly pretty simple. Scenario 1 doesn't help you very much in this next year. I mean, outside of Chris Bell, obviously, who you will have, and he could potentially become something down the road, but you can't expect anything from him until this time next year, at least, right? at best, too.
Mm-hmm. And there's depth at wide receiver.
Exactly.
So like wide receiver, you can find some guys you like later on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And we like a lot of these guys later in this class, too.
And linebacker does feel like a smidge of a luxury. Like the CJ Allen scenario. Because it's a deep linebacker class. You're going to have options later on, too.
For sure, but I think there's also something to addressing a need like that.
Yeah.
So it goes 3-2-1 in my opinion.
Yeah. And for a team like the Broncos, maybe this is a classic, like trading out of the first is the best option.
Sure.
Loading up on an early second and maybe adding another third rounder or what have you.
Try to do the Nick Benito play again. Yeah.
100%. This was so fun.
Hell
I
yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you to Toyota and the Toyota chat. Leave us a thumbs up on the way out. Merry Christmas to you all. Lots of gifts to open. Talking Broncos is always a gift for us. A mile high salute to you all. We'll see you next week.
We all silly like the mayor.